Right, I'm just going to show you the process of creating a scriptable object from start to finish, just a basic scriptable object, just to show you the steps that are involved. So let's say that you want to create a stats profile. So scriptable objects are good when you want to create an instance of something else, of a data type, not an instance of something that exists in your scene, an instance of information. So you'll commonly see them used for settings profiles and things like that. And in this case, I'm going to just do a basic stats profile that could then be used in other scripts as just an interchangeable piece of data that you can create different types of. So you can have like enemy stats, player stats, stuff like that. Now, all you need to do to start is to create a new script. Now, under the scripting tab, you can create a scriptable object script. This just sets some of it up for you. However, there's not really a huge amount to change between a monobehavior script or any normal script and a scriptable object. So I'm going to start with the monobehavior script. I'm just going to call it stats profile. And then this is the template, if you like, for the instances. So it's not a scriptable object yet, but I'm just going to put the data in. So all of these need to be public. So public, let's say int strength equals 10. Public int intelligence, that's not going to work, is it? Equals 10. Let's call it strength properly then. And then public int dexterity equals 10. Public int luck equals 10. Okay, so a basic set of data, nothing fancy. Then all I need to do to change this into a scriptable object is to have it inherit from scriptable object. So not monobehavior, scriptable object instead. So this is now a scriptable object. However, there's no way to create one of these or an instance of one of these in the scene, in the project even. So when I talk about creating instances, I'm not talking about creating instances in the project like components on a game object. I'm talking about assets, basically, from this template. And to create an asset, you typically use the create menu. But to be able to do that with a scriptable object, you need to have this available in the create menu. So the create asset menu attribute is all you need to add to do that. Now there are some settings that you can change with this, such as the default new file name and the dialog name that appears in the menu. However, those by default will be new stats profile and stats profile. So they're relatively easy to identify anyway, but you can, for example, say menu name equals, and then call it stats profile. Obviously that's not any different, but this is where you'd change it. So I'm going to save that, go back into Unity. So now I've got the template, I can create instances of it. So I can create a stats profile and call that player stats. And you can see it set up these values individually, so I can change these a bit. I could say 5, 6, 2, 10, because I'm very lucky. And then I could create a new one and call it enemy stats. Again, just change these to some random values. And the nice thing about scriptable objects is if you want to create a new one, you don't always have to go to the create menu. You can just duplicate it and then rename it. NPC stats. Now, the thing to remember here, the important thing to remember here is that these are different in the sense that these are 3 different assets. However, this would be all player stats. This would be all NPC stats. This would be all enemy stats. These will never be instances of themselves in the same way as when you add a script to an object in the scene. That is a unique instance of a single type. And then you have multiple instances of that type and they all have different data. These will always have the same data that they have. They're different from each other, but no matter how many times you use this in the scene, the data will always be the same. This is because they're referred to as assets. And this is useful for that reason, because it means that you can create data in one place and then deploy it in multiple places. So say if you have, so I've got a cube here. Let's say that this cube is an enemy. It's a particular type of enemy. Let's say it's a small enemy. And we want another one. We're going to make it bigger. This is a big enemy. We're going to add a script on here. I think I've used enemy already. Yeah, I have. So I'm going to use a different name because I've used a script enemy before. I'm going to put enemy profile. And then in this script, I can create a reference to a type of asset, stats profile. So the small enemy has an enemy profile. The large enemy has an enemy profile. Now I can select what that profile is. So I can say enemy stats. And I can say enemy stats. Now, both of these enemies, big and small, have the same stats profile, which is this asset. It doesn't even show the data, it just points to the asset. So if this changes, say if I change that to 10 for strength, both enemies now have 10 strength. This is useful because it means I can change data in one place and reuse it elsewhere. However, it's not as useful if I do want to have different types of profile between enemies. Now, if I wanted every single enemy to have its own unique data, and I was happy to set all of that, then I probably wouldn't use scriptable objects. I'd just put it straight into the mono behavior in the enemy profile. I could just put all the stats from here straight into here, and they'd be unique for everything. But I'd then have to go into every enemy profile to change them if I ever wanted to, which I don't. So realistically, when I've got two enemies like this, say if I do want there to be a difference between them, but I don't want to lose the ability to reuse the data elsewhere in my scene, then what I would probably do is create small enemy stats and big enemy stats. And now I can give the small enemy less strength, more intelligence, more dexterity even. Let's say 5 luck. And then the big enemy, he's strong, he's not so smart, he's definitely not dexterous, and he's about as lucky as the small one. And then all I need to do is change which one uses which. Okay, so now I have two profiles and I can reuse those, and I could make medium as well, or I could have as many of these as I want. How do I use that data? Well, now I've got this set up, I can access that information whenever I do something. So say if I want to damage another object or attack, I'm just going to put it in as a reference here. I'm not going to do it properly. Object to attack. Let's assume that at some point we've created a function where you collide with another object and get a reference to it. and then in that, if do I have damageable? Yes, I do. So this is here because I've used another example with a damageable script, so it's probably going to have an attack function in it. Yes, it does. Okay, good. Then I can do damageable, take damage, and then I need to pass in the amount of damage. So I could give the enemy, we could say, see, this is where I could either have this as part of the enemy profile or as of the instance of it in the scene. So I could do serialized field int base damage equals 50, and then pass in base damage multiplied by stats profile dot strength. And then when it attacks an object, it's going to use its local data multiplied by this global data asset. And it's just a way of creating profiles in your game where you can have sets of data that is reusable in lots of different places, but without having to go to all those different places to change what it actually is. So whenever you've got instances of data, that's when you want to think about using a scriptable object.